Tistou of the Green Thumbs by Maurice Druon. Chapter 4, in which Tistou is sent to school, but does not stay there long. Until he was 8 years old, Tistou had no experience of school. Mrs. Mother preferred to begin her son's education herself and teach him the rudiments of the 3 R's, which, as everyone knows, are reading, writing, and arithmetic. We must admit that the results were not at all bad. Thanks to some beautiful picture books bought specially, Tistou learned that A stood for ant, anchor, and ass, B for ball, balloon, and bird, and so on. As for arithmetic, Mrs. Mother used swallows sitting on telephone wires. Tistou learned not only to add and subtract, but was even able to divide 7 swallows, for instance, by 2 telephone wires, the answer to which is 3½ swallows per telephone wire. How half a swallow sits on a telephone wire is another matter, which all the figures in the world have never been able to explain. But when Tistou reached his 8th birthday, Mrs. Mother came to the conclusion that she had completed her task and that Tistou must now be entrusted to a proper schoolmaster. So Tistou was bought a school smock, new shoes which hurt his feet, a satchel, a black pencil box with Japanese figures on the outside, an expensive book with wide lines, another with narrow lines, and Carolus, the manservant, took him to the Mirepoix school, which had a very good reputation indeed. Everyone expected that a little boy so neatly dressed, whose parents were so beautiful and so rich, and who already knew how to divide swallows into halves and quarters, would be very good at his lessons. Alas, alas, school had an unforeseen and disastrous effect on Tistou. When the long lines of letters began to stride across the blackboard, when the long chains of the multiplication tables began to unroll themselves link by link, with their 3 times 3, their 5 times 5, and their 7 times 7, Tistou's left eye began to blink, and soon he fell fast asleep. And yet he was not stupid, or lazy, or even tired. He was really a very good boy and tried hard. "I won't go to sleep. I won't go to sleep," Tistou said to himself. He fixed his eyes on the blackboard and listened as hard as he could to the master's voice. But then his left eye would start blinking again, though he did everything he could not to fall asleep. He even sang to himself a pretty little song of his own invention. "What's half a swallow? And half of that? A leg or a wing, an extraordinary thing. Were it a tart, I'd cut off a large part, and swallow, and swallow, and swallow." There was nothing to be done. The master's voice was a lullaby. The blackboard turned as dark as night. The ceiling seemed to whisper down to him, "Happy dreams, Tistou," and the Mirepoix schoolroom became a land of oblivion. "Tistou!" yelled the master. "I didn't do it on purpose, sir," said Tistou, waking up with a start. "I can't help that," said the master. "Repeat what I've just been saying." 6 tarts divided by 2 swallows. Go to the bottom of the class." His first day at school, Tistou got 0 for everything. His second day he was punished by being kept in for 2 hours. That is to say that he slept in the schoolroom for 2 extra hours. On the 3rd day the master gave Tistou a letter for his father. Mr. Father, when he opened the letter, was pained to read the following words: "Sir, your son is not like other people. We cannot keep him here." The school had sent Tistou back to his parents.